Welcome to Daisha Breedlove Presents. Now, for those of you that are new to the show, every week I like to touch base on inspirational topics with inspirational guests who can help make your life a better one. So my guest today, he's an artist and he is a pianist named Dylan Meek. So let's meet him today and hear all about his journey as far as being in the entertainment industry and his journey to spirituality. Dylan, nice to see you.
Nice to see you.
Yes, thanks so much for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
Yes.
It's an honor to be here.
Definitely. Like I said, when I met you, your aura was so amazing. And you're also a really great pianist. So I was like,
Thank
you know
you.
what? He needs to be on the show and tell us all about his journey. Because it was something different about you. So thanks for coming. So let's get into it. We got a couple questions to ask that the viewers and myself want to know. Okay. So for those who don't know you yet, Dylan, you're originally from Austin, Texas. Mm-hmm. Okay. Now I know you later lived in New York City. Now you're settling here in Los Angeles. So can you take us through that transition from Austin to New York to LA and share what each city kind of briefly taught you about yourself, your music, and your overall purpose?
100%. So I'm actually from a very small town outside of Austin. I tell people Austin when I meet them casually at parties because no one knows where this small town is that I'm from. I grew up in a town of 10,000 people in the middle of the Texas Hill Country, south of Austin. It's called Wimberley, and it's a very earnest, down-to-earth, country/artistic, eccentric town. A lot of artists from all over the world have moved there over the years, so it's a really interesting community and very supportive community. Everyone knows each other. I mean, it's classic small town where everyone knows each other, everyone knows all the gossip, but it's also very supportive, and the young people there that are artistic or very driven for certain things can be very supported in a community like that. So growing up there, for one, was huge for my self-esteem and building my belief in myself growing up, because I had a whole community of musicians, older musicians, and some young friend musicians that would, for one, shepherd me or get me ready for maybe moving to New York City, because I knew at a young age I wanted to move to New York City to get on the jazz scene and stuff. That was my main focus at that time, and so the small town really molded me. And then when I moved to New York City,
you still got a New York accent. I'm like, the Texas
because I lived there for a while.
Yeah, how long were you there?
I was there for 7 years, and my mentor that I grew up with in Wimberley grew up in Harlem, and so he had a really thick New York accent. His wife had a thick New York accent as well. So I grew up around them, and they, I would go over to his house every day after school, and the rule that he had with me was, you don't have to pay for a lesson, but you have to, everything I teach you, when you come back to me, you have to know it perfectly. Otherwise, I'll kick you out of my house and you can't study with me anymore.
Oh my goodness.
So
Direct.
I was very driven and very excited about it, because he was a master. He played with Billie Holiday and Ella Fitzgerald and Louis Armstrong, and he was friends with Duke Ellington and Count Basie, and his name was Jimmy Neely. He's passed away now. He'd be almost 100 now. But
wow.
But I got some of my New York accent from him, and then when I moved to New York, obviously you're around it, so I got it there. And New York sharpened me. Because I moved there cold turkey. I thought I was ready for it because I was hanging out with my mentor who was from Harlem, and he was telling me all these stories and telling me what to expect. But nothing can prepare you for New York until you actually get there. Yeah,
I was telling you briefly, I just moved back as well. It's I thought if you can make it in LA, you can make it anywhere. I'm until you're in New York is a different ball game. But it does make you be able to really survive anywhere. Your confidence boosts up.
Totally. Your street smarts are insane when you lived in New York.
Oh, 100%. I love that. So you would say overall it taught you about your purpose, just how to thrive and survive and just go
thrive and survive and be driven, because when I was really young, I was so supported in the community, even in my artistry, even in my musicianship. Everyone was kind of I was in that child prodigy label from the community I grew up in and from the region of Texas I grew up in. And I was playing concerts and everyone knew me in that scene, in that small bubble. But then when I moved to New York City, no one knew who I was, and so I had to prove myself just with my ability and not because it was based on some hype and whatever. So it allowed me, it challenged me to just really see if I really want to do this music thing. You know what I'm saying? And I do.
And you do.
So
right.
I was always meant for it, and I actually work really well under adversity and pressure, and I like the pressure, and I like the challenges, and I like proving to myself that I can do it, and working really hard. So New York really put fire in me and helped me like sharpen my music and my focus on my career and my focus on even my mental health, like really having to do things to stay healthy. Otherwise, I would go crazy in New York, because New York can be hard too.
It's chaotic.
So,
you got to find some type of grounding practice,
Absolutely.
To be sane.
100%.
It literally is a city that never sleeps. I totally agree. Mm-hmm. And you're definitely dedicated. I mean, I love that you brought your piano with you.
Yes.
Amazing. You're definitely going to have to play us something before you get out of here.
I will.
Love it. Okay, so my next question is, so before everything that you're doing now, you spent years immersed in music early on, as I was reading your bio. So when did you first realize music, especially piano, was more than a skill, but actually a calling for you?
Piano, I've always felt like it was an extension of my body.
Wow, that's deep.
So every time, even from the first memory I have of the piano, I just felt a gravitational pull towards it, and it always just made sense to me. So
wow,
it's hard to describe, but it always just made sense. And I've always just felt pulled to the piano. If there's a piano anywhere, I have to play it. And I like to carry my keyboard everywhere I go.
Wow. So you had signs early on to where you were just so interested in it.
100%.
Wow.
And guitar, now I'm getting into guitar, and I've been singing for a while now, but piano was like my first foundation that pulled me towards music, for sure.
Wow. So would you say you were always good at it before you actually started like getting lessons?
I was not always good at piano. I don't think I was always good at
I'm like, were you born into this? Were you out the womb playing the piano?
No, I used to practice like 12 to 14 hours a day. I was really obsessive, and
okay, that's good.
Yeah, when I was a teenager, I turned down a lot of hangs with my friends to just stay at home and practice all night and all day. And on the weekends, I would stay home and practice. And yeah.
Oh, that's called dedication.
Obsessed with it.
I love it. Well, it turned out, because now you're doing it full time. I love that. Okay, so as I also read, you played organ and piano in gospel churches early on in your journey. So how did those spiritual spaces shape the way you kind of feel, write, and approach music today?
For one, it pulled me back into God when I started playing gospel churches. I was kind of like drifting into I was like into music and into yoga, and I was kind of drifting, not really knowing, not being serious about a regimen of church and like praying to God. I did when I was younger, and then I kind of, like when I was really young, and then I kind of stopped in my early teenage years, and then in my later teenage years, when I started playing in gospel churches, it brought me back to that. And it brought a more spiritual. I always felt like music was a way to pray to God and speak to God, and for God to speak to you. But when I started playing gospel churches, it illuminated all of that, and also. It made me a better musician in the way of just like bringing that energy, the spiritual energy, to the playing always. And it's the reason why I sing. Like I would not sing at all if I wasn't playing at gospel churches, if I didn't have that in my history at all.
Wow.
Yeah, so I owe the gospel community and the churches that I played at and my friends that I played with the inspiration for my singing.
Wow,
absolutely.
That's deep. So you said that's how you connected to
it. Opened up my voice. Yeah.
Amazing.
Before that, it was just piano, and that got me into singing and stuff. Yeah.
Wow, I love that. Okay, so as I mentioned earlier, from the moment I met you, there was a noticeable light about your aura. I was like, something about him is just different. You had a calm, grounded presence about you. So have you always felt connected to that inner light, or is it something you grew into over time? Because I know we did briefly discuss, your journey to like sobriety and just, toxins and different things like that. So tell us briefly about that.
It's been a journey. but I try to follow the light. And right now I haven't had alcohol in about 8 years, but lately I've even been cutting out like sugar and coffee and other things, among other things. It's just really important to me, and it just to follow the light.
I love that. So was there ever like a traumatic moment where you were like, I'm done drinking, I'm done? Or was it like it's something that you just woke up one day and was like, okay, I just don't want to do this anymore?
With drinking specifically, it was a culmination of things. A lot of it was being around people, situations in the industry where people were abusing it. And I was realizing that I didn't want to grow into that because it's so accessible to artists, musicians. Like the people will just give you whatever you want for free.
Right.
So it's really easy to slip into that and then get addicted. And then over 10, 20, 30 years, it can even kill you, in a lot of different ways, whether it's slowly or swiftly. But yeah, I just decided I didn't need to do it anymore to try to fit in or like connect with people, and it just felt better to not do it. And I was getting more done to just focus on everything else, and I was saving more money because you can spend a lot of money on that stuff too. So for me, I think because I'm such a sensitive person, and we are all sensitive as artists and musicians. People are sensitive in general, but like if you're a sensitive person, when you start adding any sort of substance into that, it really rocks your boat. Because even if you're a sensitive person and you're sober, that doesn't mean life is going to be easy, and that doesn't mean you're going to have a good time or like you don't have mental health issues. You still might have mental health issues even if you don't do anything, but then you add those things on top of it, and it rocks the boat even more. So I feel like for me it helped the rocky moments be less rocky. Not that I haven't had rocky moments, but it let me be able to get through the storm and be here today.
Easier. So, amazing. Well said. Well said. Okay. So, as I also read, you've collaborated with a lot of artists across many genres. So before working with someone, what kind of energy or alignment are you looking for? Because I know you're going on tour soon in Europe and you're doing a lot of amazing things. So what type of energy do they have to possess for you to be like, okay, this is somebody I actually want to collaborate with?
That's fluctuated over the years, but like now, as I've like matured and I feel like I'm more clear about what that is, someone who I feel like, for one, is really passionate about the art that they make. And that's a very serious thing. It's not like a hobby. It's not just like something to even be seen for, but something that they really believe in, and the art that they make, they really believe in the story of the art that they make. So that really attracts me when I'm going to work with someone. So that's a big important thing.
It's important. So before you give us a little brief of what we can expect on a tour, tell everybody where they can reach you at to keep up with all the amazing things that you're doing.
Dylan Meek Music, Instagram, and TikTok, and on Spotify, Dylan Meek.
Awesome. Okay. So yes, and congrats. And also, like I said, before I go into that, I will attach all of Dylan's music at the bottom of the screen so you guys can follow him directly. But before you leave out of here, show us briefly, what can we expect on this tour in Europe? Because I looked at the days, I'm like, is this a long tour?
Yeah, it's a long tour. And then so I'm opening for Big Thief. Big Thief is an incredible band.
Wow.
If you haven't checked them out, go check them out.
Yeah.
Beautiful songs. And these venues will be the biggest venues I've played as a solo artist opening for a band. They're going to be like, I think around like 1,000 minimum to like 10,000 person spots and beautiful spaces and stuff. So I'm really, really excited for this. I'm really excited for this opportunity. Honored for it. And Big Thief is such a great band too. So I'm really excited to hear them every night. And so that's something to expect. It was requested for this tour that I'm going to play solo every night. Because I have a band, I have different variations. I have a 10-piece band here in LA that I perform with. I have a 4-piece band, and I have different variations. But I do a lot of solo piano, vocal, songwriting, and guitar, vocal, songwriting, like songwriter type of pieces as well. And for this one, it's going to be, I'm customizing my set list of my songs to be that it'll fit well with Big Thief. So I'll be opening for them with those pieces of music. So it'll be very ethereal. It'll be very, my goal is to bring a spiritual aspect to the songs and to the experience for everyone that's coming to those shows. So that'll be a good one. And I'm also planning on recording a lot of the shows as well, and I might put out a live record after that.
Nice.
But so that's what I have planned for it. And yeah.
Nice. So can you play a little something for
Yeah.
Oh, you definitely answered it. Can we get a little preview for those who can't make it in London?
100%. So I'm gonna play one of those songs. So this is a song I wrote called Brotherhood. It's about sibling love, and it's on my upcoming record that's going to be coming out this year, which is called Love Will Prevail, which is another song I wrote. But yeah, Brotherhood is yeah. Cut from the same clothing, two brothers have different pathways through life's doors, survived but torn, passaging through a storm, branded by what's worn in blood, pouring into never-ending love. This is brotherhood, brotherhood. Their own secret language before language, making words up to describe the light. Lose la wa 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 wa, goo goo ga ga ga, mama. Every word completely understood. This is brotherhood, brotherhood. Bruises and a black eye caused by fun two brothers had when they were young, and stung by every rising sun, like a spring that sprung, then tore pedos through lifetime's undying flood. This is brotherhood, brotherhood. Limitless forgiveness when a brother tends to hurt the other one, whose pride is a race crash collide through a net cast wide, restrung, catching all the love that pain withstood. This is brotherhood, 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 brotherhood.
Wow, I love that.
Thank you.
Oh my goodness. Dylan Meek, everybody.
Thank you.
Wow, you almost had me in tears. I'm like, okay, this is brotherhood.
And I wrote that song. So I wrote 3 of those 4 verses. My brother wrote the second verse. I wrote first, third, and fourth verse. He's writing one right now that's going to be in between the third and the fourth verse. And on the record, we already recorded the music other than his voice on his last verse that he's doing, but he did the second verse about the language bit. Because he referenced my first word and his first word. His first word was light, and my first word was luz, which means light in Spanish. So, yeah.
Wow, that was amazing. Oh my goodness.
So Buck Meek co-wrote that with me.
Thanks so much for sharing. Yes, yes, yes. If you could leave any future artist with any piece of advice, something that you learned along the way, what would it be?
Don't let anyone stop you practicing what you want to master or what you are obsessed with within the art form.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
That's a great one.
Because a lot of people will try to stop you in a lot of different ways or slow you down. Whether that's like, I'm going to give an example actually. I'm in New York City. I'm 21 years old, which was only a few years ago. Just kidding. I'm a lot older than that. But I was like 21 years old. I had a gig at this piano bar in the Lower East Side, and I did need the money too. I was 21 and I was trying to get all the work around New York I could. And it was a weekly gig, so it was great to have a residency. It was like every Tuesday or every Wednesday. And the bar owner was a fan of mine, fan of my playing. He really loved my jazz piano playing. And there was regulars that would come in to see my jazz piano playing. And I really wanted to get better at singing. And I had been singing for a few years, starting, or 3 or 4 to 5 years, starting in the gospel vein and gospel songs. And then I started learning jazz repertoire, and I started learning Stevie Wonder songs and pop songs and all these different things because I was trying to expand my voice, and I was starting to write songs and singing those songs. And so I wanted to start introducing that. And there was a vocal mic, so I started singing at the spot. And the main owner wasn't always there, but one time the owner was there. And during break, he walked up to me and he was like, we really love your playing here, but we don't like your voice. So could you stop singing?
What?
And I didn't stop singing. I didn't get fired, luckily.
Oh my goodness.
But I would usually he wasn't always there. So whenever he wasn't there, I would definitely sing. And when he was there, I would keep it minimal. I would sing a little bit, but I wouldn't let it stop me. And it was discouraging. Because he was telling me, we don't like it. We don't like your voice.
Really?
So I was like, okay. And my voice then wasn't what it is today, but I, if I would have stopped singing in that moment, I would not be able to be, and if I would have let that oppress my drive to pursue working on my voice and getting better, I wouldn't have gotten as good as I am today. And I have a lot more to work on my voice, but now people walk up to me and say, oh, I love your voice. And I'm hearing that more, but maybe they wouldn't have done that if I would have let this one person who was paying me and who I was kind of depending on even too. I was taking a chance by being just believing in myself. So I think it's really important to have stubbornness.
Wow.
With what your goals are with getting better at your skill.
Oh, that's great. Well, that wraps it up, everyone, for Daisha Breedlove Presents. As I mentioned, I will attach all of Dylan's information at the bottom of the screen so you guys could check him out. But I will see you all next week with another inspirational episode and another inspirational guest. Ciao.